Okay, we're going to read a little bit of story. So put your books away for story time. No. Sorry? No, you can't work at art. We'll just have story. No, you can't finish your math either. Just listen to the story. Just kidding. Just pretending I can do that because I can't anymore. But anyway, where were we? I have no idea. So it is 9:30. Let's start right. See, if I was smart, I would mark it with a pencil where we had stopped reading. But I guess I'm not very smart today. So they were right in the middle of getting robbed. And the two men Pablo wanted to go talk to the captain. But he wasn't going to come talk to them. He didn't want to be seen. This isn't kidnapping, he snapped. He was still trying to make us believe they were the Recontra. It looks to me like it is, I said gently. The captain won't come talk with you, he said, but I will tell him what you say. I took a deep breath. If we would give money for kidnapping, we would be sunk. You know what would happen. You would come back. Other robbers would come back, and our mission here would be destroyed. We'd have to leave. That would mean the church would have to close down. There would be no more preaching, no more clinic. We can't let that happen, so our mission has decided that there can't be any ransom money. If you want to take either one of us, you may, or if you want to just shoot us on the spot, go ahead. We will not give money for kidnapping. Imagine being in a situation like that. Tim broke in. That's right. We'd much rather give our lives than let this mission die. If you want to take me, I'm ready now. These robbers were professionals. They had probably raped, beaten, and killed people. But their darkness lost its power when it met light and love and godliness. Though their captain was waiting for them to bring us in, they couldn't do it. The tall robber had played the role of a big boss calling all the shots, but now he became what he really was, a robber and beggar. Could you please just give me 2,000 Cordobas? He pleaded. I don't have them, or I would gladly, I answered. Just give me 1,000 then, he begged. Listen, I said, I will tell you one more time. We are Christians and cannot lie. I don't have any more money. Go search the house, there is no money there. All right, I'll search the house. Could you please do it in a way that will not scare my wife and children? They have been frightened so many times. I wanted to leave the girls in their room with Uni, so they would not have to wake up and see the robbers. But I was sure the robbers would not allow that, because they would believe we had all our valuables in that room. I didn't even dare suggest it. I've expected another search ordeal like we'd had at Tim's. Why don't you get everybody out? The robber suggested. I dashed upstairs. Uni, we all need to go outside. They want to search the house. Help me wake the children. I walked into their dark room and shone my flashlight around. My heart melted as I saw what I had to do. 9 girls were sleeping in the beds and on mats on the floor, so innocent and peaceful. Oh, I hated to wake them and lead them out to see those wicked men, but I went from one to the other, patting, shaking, and pulling. Wake up, I whispered. Slowly they came to. It's the robbers, I said softly. They want us to get out so they can search the house. The girls looked at me with wide, unbelieving eyes as they sat up. Daddy, you're teasing, Janie said. No, Janie, this is for real. But don't be scared. So far they have been very nice. I picked up Cynthia and I laid her on my one shoulder. I cradled Luana against the other. I looked back at all those tussle-haired girls, sleepily getting to their feet to follow me. Julietta, Ronald's 14-year-old, was jerking on her dress over the big t-shirt the twins had loaned her. Poor things, I thought. They have to be part of this nightmare too. I led the way down the steps. The whole tribe traipsed along behind, Uni bringing up the rear. Just as I took the last step, Tim called to me from the porch. Pablo, just let them be. They say it's all right if they all stay in one room. Relieved, I led them back up again. They'd be awake, but the children and Uni might not have to see the robbers. Stay in here with Uni and the children and lock the doors and keep on praying. I told Edwin, then ran down again. Tim and Rosa and I had to stay in the carport. The short robber was on guard again. The tall one went into the house. Soon he heard him in the office opening drawers and digging through things. Next he went upstairs and we heard his footsteps thumping from room to room. He didn't stay in the house long, maybe 15 minutes. The captain was getting desperate. Things just weren't working out. It was almost 2 hours since they had come. They were all tense and ready to leave. The last thing they did was warn us not to turn them in. Don't call anyone on the radio tonight, they warned. If you tell anyone, we'll come get you. We promised. They thanked us for being nice and for opening up right away. What makes us really mad is when people refuse to open up, the tall one explained. We thanked them for being nice and not hurting us. I poured Edwin's coffee into a jug and gave it to them, hot and sweet. Rosa contributed a freshly baked cake. The dogs had made off with the bread and cheese while we were at Tim's. The short one shook hands all around, even Rosa's. As they left, each of us said quietly, "God bless you." Rosa stepped inside. Tim and I remained on the porch in case they came back for something. We could hear them talking by the garden fence. Would the captain accept their defeat? The short robber came back for directions. Then they went back to the house, to the generator house. We went in and closed the door. I ran upstairs to check on my dear family. I was still all business, no emotions. I suggested we all go downstairs. Eunice watched for her chance, and as I stepped out of the room, she caught me in the dark on the landing and clung to me as if she had lost me and now had me given back to her all over again. Then I realized what she had been through. She told me later that the hour I was gone was the longest of her life. We all went downstairs. We had just begun to turn loose and talk when, bang! A machine gun shot rang out by the generator house. We froze. Then the children took those steps faster than they ever had before. Again, our imaginations went wild. Were they fighting over the loot? Did the leader want them to come back again and they refused? Would we find a dead body there in the morning? Was it their way of warning us not to call the police? Was it to scare our neighbors so they would not follow? We waited in suspense for a few minutes, but all was quiet. It seemed the robbers really had gone. As we started to relax in the living room, I made some coffee and we talked a mile a minute. Then we had a sweet time of prayer and praise. The next morning we found an AK shell down by the generator house. There was a hole in the ground where the bullet had sunk in. A neighbor dug it up and we added it to our collection of robber paraphernalia. We will probably never know what that shot was all about. Remember? In The Price? Remember what happened? We read about this story. The robbers had left around midnight and we went to bed about 1:30, though it took some time to fall asleep. I dreamt about armed men the rest of the night. The next day we called Costa Rica and poured out our story to the brothers on the radio. We received comfort and encouragement, and everyone promised to pray. Looking back, I kept asking myself why God allowed this to happen. But God never makes mistakes when He paints the pictures of our lives. We don't need to understand. We just need to follow. As I shared our feelings with our church, our Nika family wept with us. Ronald's family wrote a letter for Eunice. Dear Sister Eunice, we write this in the name of Jesus to let you know that, as a family, we are very concerned for what's happening in your home. We need to be tried in fire like fine gold. You are suffering for us, so we may be saved. We appreciate your love. It doesn't matter if you lose material belongings because you have God's power on your side, protecting you from evil. We can't express what we feel, but we understand in our hearts what you are going through. Eunice, we feel and understand that huge fear that grips you when it gets dark. Remember what you are here for. With God's help, you are saving souls and encouraging us as brethren. Don't be discouraged. We are battling by your side. Eunice, you're standing on a solid rock. They promised to pray. They quoted scriptures, and they all signed the letter. Saturday was hard for Eunice. She battled bravely. Night got closer. We called Tim, and Rosa invited them to come sleep with us. We ate supper together and went to bed early. Our brethren here and in Costa Rica prayed, and God mercifully enveloped us in a celestial sleep. We all claimed we had never had a better night. Sunday was full with morning services, afternoon visits, singing, and an evening prayer meeting. After the meeting, 3 more people came to Tim wanting to give their hearts to the Lord. 3 more precious souls to nurture for Jesus. Yes, it was worth it all. It's the end of that chapter. And we're going to stop there. We'll just keep it nice and short. The next chapter is called Lost opportunity. Wonder what that's about. So remember in the price, the story that we just read of the robbers. Remember reading it on the robbers side? They fought over the loot, and then I forget their names. And then I forget their names, but then the one shot the machine gun to scare, because they're fighting over, they're arguing. But anyway, if you forget, you can go back and look at it. But so hopefully you enjoyed that. I want to see if we can get set up for a video call with everybody. But what we need to do is you would have to get an app on some kind of device, either computer or a phone at home. Skype. So I'm going to contact your moms and see if that works, because I think it'd be really nice if we could all have a video call together. Then we could read story over the phone instead of just watching a video. Then we could talk to each other, smile at each other, wave, and see everybody. So I think we're going to try to do that. But someone in your family might have Skype already. You just download the app and make an account. It's really easy. You can do it on a computer. It doesn't have to be a phone. And that way we could see everybody and talk to everybody all at one time. So I don't know. We'll see if we can. I'd like to do that, but we'll see if it works. So hopefully you enjoyed the story and have a great day. Have fun, and we'll see you later.